guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called Building Fire Rotterdam Kralingen. I am going to assume that's the name of the city or town. I think it's called Building Fire, but I think this is sort of ambulance drive, but I don't know if it's fireman and that's why it's called Building Fire, right? Fireman instead of a first responder or, some sort of emergency service, but, it's probably going to be an ambulance. So let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Bij Bosland. Met de wateringestel van de laatste daarom.
Oh, that's the garage door. For a minute, I thought that was the actual glass of of the car. I was what?
Weet je die? Huh? Weet je de slaag? Slaag, ja.
59, Gebouwbrand, hartelijk. Ja, tweede etage. Bewoners die zou weggelopen zijn. De deur is dicht en er zou inmiddels ook al rook in het portiek zitten.
There's okay, yes, it's a fireman.
Ja, wat duidelijk verhaal, onderweg. Ja, succes.
That's so scary. I'm scared for. Well, obviously the person there they're stuck in a building that's getting caught on fire. That's so scary. I'd be so nervous being them. I feel like there's someone there that needs help. Oh wow, this is absolutely crazy. Well, yeah, of course a person's panicked. I just want to point out, the road is tiny. It's like this. It's super tiny, and there's a bus, but the car luckily had a parking space in which they could sort of pull over, and he was able to drive. Well, the ambulance. But this is crazy because the roads are tiny. Oh, that's where the honk. Oh yeah, he's letting, I get it, he's telling this person no. Yeah, he's putting the emergency lights. Yeah, I'm trying to pull over, please, I know. Oh, there was, I think, a motorcycle that also stopped. Yeah, I love how everyone stops. This is a very crowded street, I have to say. It doesn't seem that crowded because everyone's pulling over, but I can tell it's super crowded. Oh my god, yeah, what's going to happen? Oh, okay, he pulled over to the right. I'm so, they have so much space, I love it. They have a lot of space to actually maneuver. Is this a one-way? Oh, okay, yeah. This is the one you go right. Are they going right? No, of course not. It's kind of crazy because seeing it like this, you're thinking they're driving insanely. They're driving like maniacs, but of course you understand. Okay, I hadn't realized that the co-pilot, he's putting on the suit, the fireman's suit, just as they go. That's crazy. But yeah, of course, you need to save time. I'm not gonna wait for, I'm gonna dress and then we go. No, I'm dressing in the car. So the driver does not go inside the house, they just drive? I'll be so concerned. They're going so fast, and still I know that they must be so stressed about the whole thing. We're taking too long, even though it's been 2 minutes. Is this closed? What's happening now? Oh no, yeah, because you can't do anything. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, it's closed. Totally closed. Yeah, because of course they're doing repairs or something. Oh, they're doing this? Yeah, I don't know how. Oh, everyone's going to. Oh my god, there's a bicycle there. Oh, even the cyclist. They they pull over. Oh my god. Okay, I've never seen this. Oh, and he's going the other way. Oh my god. This is insanity to me. I mean, I understand, but it looks crazy from this angle. Yeah, how does the car fit in here? It's a huge, it's a huge truck. This is insane. I didn't know that you could do this. Well, I guess, yeah, sure, you can do whatever. It's an emergency. Oh my god, even the scooters, yeah, everyone's sort of pulling over. This is crazy. I've never seen this. Even the cyclists are stopping. I have no idea where on earth this man's driving. It's sort of, it's just, what is this? They're going in the tracks, they're not going in the actual road. Ah, this is insanity. They're so calm though. I'll not, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna be calm if I find myself in this situation. But of course they're professionals. Yeah, even that lone car, he sort of stopped. Even though he wasn't, it was good because he pulled over, but he wasn't really interrupting anything. But that's how you should be.
Rechtsaf. Tweede links. Ja. Tweede links. Dit is de eerste.
Ah! Oh my god. The bumps are so, he's going so fast. The bumps are... Oh, they're getting there. Yeah, he's putting on the mask and stuff. How are there actually? It just dawned on me. How is he? Because he's guiding him, but how does he know where to go? Where's the GPS? As in, there's someone. Yeah, there's the guy. The co-pilot is guiding him. But where? How does he know where he's supposed to go? I thought the GPS. The police are already there. Oh, we also have a... Oh, what?
Maar zo? Ja, hier zou het niet zijn. Dat is het al, joh.
Oh, they're here? Oh, I thought the street was closed or something.
Yeah.
And they just gonna go. Oh my god, is that them? Oh my god, he took them all line. Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, of course, if there's someone stuck in an elevator. Oh my god, I'm trying to think. Yeah, of course. Firemen not only do, they extinguish fires, they also deal with emergencies, as in the elevator got stuck or the elevator or something happened with the elevator. Okay, this was insane. The most impressive part about this video to me, because I've never seen that situation before, was the one with the bike lane. That's crazy. I didn't thought that was possible, but they were apparently they did it so nonchalantly, which I assume. Oh, okay, so they're used to doing this. This isn't something as in, well, of course you're not gonna do this because of, hey, for the fun of it, hey, go into the bike lane. No, but I am guessing, in emergency situations, they probably done this before. I would have been so freaked out. If I were the driver, I would have been, what am I supposed to do? I think I'm getting, I'm running over someone. I'd be so scared about the prospect of just going in a bike lane. And also, again, because obviously this is all my perspective from someone that's really not an ambulance driver or some sort of emergency responder. I know obviously their perspective is a little bit different just because they're professionals and they're used to this. But I think from the outside, it just looks so crazy. I don't really know how they're dealing with this so calmly. To begin with, I'm thinking, oh my god, this is a huge truck. Firemen, they have huge trucks. They are, even because the ones that are a little bit smaller, which I think in Europe that's the case. I don't know if the Netherlands, but I think generally in Europe, the trucks are a little bit, not tiny, but they're just a little bit smaller. But they're still pretty big. It's, it's bigger than a normal car. So I would be thinking, and I'm not thinking it because actually when you look at the video, I think, it technically doesn't fit, right? A bike lane, it's really, it's smaller, it's a little bit narrower. So how on earth are you driving in this case? I think he was, because I couldn't really look at, the perspective is a little bit different. But I think there were sort of one of the wheels was in the grass because it doesn't fit. So I think it's just crazy to be driving like this. I think, it's very movie-like. I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm in a movie. Of course, again, they have better, they have bigger and more important things to worry. But I didn't know that this could be done. It's obviously, I think, again, there's rules and there's, traffic rules and stuff. But in emergency situations and in stuff like this, obviously they're allowed to do this. It's not as if, oh, I'm running late for work, maybe I should do this. But still, it's quite a scary thing because I'm thinking, what happens if someone, Well, I don't know. It just makes me think. Obviously, people have to be very alert. But if you're on the opposite side, if you are, you're in your bicycle, and I know maybe this is kind of crazy because I don't think that this would be the case for anyone. But I'm thinking, if you have which is the case, you normally, you have your earphones on and you're, listening to something, you're on your bike and you're sort of a little bit distracted, right? Because you're not hearing anything because, you're not going to be listening to the sirens because again, you have your earphones. Maybe again, you have eyes, right? So you're going to be seeing there's a little ambulance that's, coming right next to me. But sometimes I think people get a little distracted and that's not for cyclists, for cyclists. Some drivers also, it happens, right? Sometimes you're driving and I don't know, you're sort of in your own world, specifically if it's something that you do every single day, it gets a little repetitive, and especially if it's a road that you take, every single, it's your normal work or, for the office or for classes, for college, for whatever, you sort of there's a distraction that happens and you sort of go, oh my God, how did I arrive here? You can't remember how you got there. Obviously, everything was fine, but you did it in a sort of autopilot way in which you can't remember the actual drive or the actual road because you sort of did it and your brain was sort of in another place, which I think is quite dangerous, right? If you think about it, it is dangerous. But I'm wondering what happens in one of those cases because it's something that happens unconsciously. It's not something that you're going to, I'm going in autopilot. No. But it's something that, again, the human brain sometimes does crazy things. So I'm thinking what happens if you find one of those, there's a cyclist and they're going in their own little world and they're not even listening because they have earphones. So what happens then? Do you have to put on the brakes? I don't know. I'd be so scared. Probably, if you ask them, probably there'll be, no, I've never been in that situation because people are this doesn't happen. What are the chances of someone just completely ignoring all the signs as if you're seeing an ambulance going your way and you're also listening, and if you're not listening, you're seeing the people around you sort of pulling over. I don't know. And even, because it's not for pedestrians. I was thinking, well, what happens if there's a pedestrian as well? Do they have to sort of pull over to the side because the road, the actual truck is, it's coming right next to me? But no, I think, obviously in the Netherlands, I think pedestrians I know they have sort of different roads. It's separated from the bike lanes. So of course that wouldn't happen, but it's still kind of crazy for me, at least, to see how it's not just cars that move over and that pull over. Also, cyclists, they also pull over. So you're not exempt, because I would have thought, again, if I'm on my bicycle, I don't have to deal with this, because obviously if you're driving, you know that at some point, an ambulance, it's going to come. It's not that, I'm wishing for it to happen. But again, by, probability, chances, at some point when you're driving, this is going to happen and you're going to find an ambulance that's right behind you and you're going to have to pull over. So it's something that it happens. And again, you have to be prepared because you never know when it could happen. But if I'm a cyclist, I'm not really thinking about this. Maybe it's because I'm not a cyclist. But now, okay, so I know that if I'm ever if I'm ever riding a bicycle in the Netherlands, I know this is a possibility, which I think makes it a little bit, by a little bit, I mean a lot scarier. Because, you also have to be pretty aware of, obviously, your surroundings, which obviously you should, as a rule of thumb. But in this case, it's sort of, you have to sort of go over your bike. I don't know, I would just jump out of my bike. I don't know, I would be very dramatic about the whole thing. Obviously, they're very calm. This isn't the first time this has happened. And they just sort of pull over as a normal car. But I think oh my God, it's crazy to see it in action. And all the bikes are pulling over. Even someone with a scooter was pulling over, which of course, I get, you have to pull over, obviously. But it's kind of crazy to see because I've never seen that in my life. And maybe it's one of those things, maybe in the Netherlands, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it happens in other places, other places in Europe. Obviously, this is not going to happen in the US, but still, seeing it in real life and seeing a real life scenario in which this is the case, crazy. That was insane. That to me was absolutely mind-blowing that people were just pulling over to the side of the grass because obviously there's no road, because yes, there's an ambulance, there's a fire truck, there's someone, again, with a siren, and you have to pull over. That's insane to me. That was crazy to see. And again, I don't think that I've never seen this in my life. Probably that I'm never going to see it again unless it's in the Netherlands, because I don't think this happens very often. But yeah, good for them. It tells me, they have a really good culture as in, aware of their surroundings. You constantly have to be, hey, what's happening? And then, of course, you see an ambulance or some sort of siren, vehicle with a sirens, and you pull over, as you should. I also really think it's crazy because this was all sort of residential streets. From what I could tell, they were tiny, they were super narrow. He didn't really went into a highway or freeway or anything. So it's kind of, because I always wonder if it's the angle of the shot of the video, because when you're from above, I know it's just the angle. Sometimes cameras do weird things. But is the angle, or are the roads actually so small? They're so incredibly narrow that I'm thinking, how on earth does a fire truck actually, there's no space for you to pass through. But I know it's gotta be the angle, right? Cars actually, they pass normally, and fire trucks as well. But I could see, it was a very tight spot, early on when they encountered, I think it was a bus. And it was a car and a bus, which already makes it quite, oh my God, a car and a bus, they can barely pass through. Oh, and you have, cars, they're parallel parked. So it's sort of like, I have to take out wings and then I have to fly over them because it's this cannot be. They managed to make it work, which I think was quite impressive for a road that's so incredibly small that it looks tiny from this perspective. And the fact that they managed to pass and he managed to pass through, I do not know I do not know how they did it, because it's kind of crazy. I think in this case, they were lucky because, the car had a really sort of good parking space right next, to them. So, of course, he pulled over. But I'm thinking, what happens if there's no space? Well, I guess you have to, accelerate and try to find a parking, the nearest sort of parking space or little space so you can sort of pull over and let him pass. But I don't know, it's gonna be super stressful, right? You're in this tiny street and you have an ambulance sort of honking, or maybe you're listening to the sirens right behind you, and I'm doing my best, but there's no other space, either to my right or to my left or to anything, because these roads are incredibly small. Obviously they weren't designed for modern life and fire trucks and stuff. But yeah, this was absolutely crazy. My favorite part, the bicycle part, that was crazy, but in a good way, in the best possible way, and I loved it. That was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!